So this is the object that is connected to ground by this joint called grounded joint. Fine. So I'm now going to just hide those two so that we can only work with this guy. We have a look at him and we see okay, that's what he currently looks like. Okay, and there he is. I've selected him, so he's now green. Now SimMech only works in the XY plane currently, so I want this guy to lie so that it will give me a motion in the XY plane. And to go to XY plane, it's number 2 on the number pad, and there we have our grounded object with the XY plane lying on the screen. Now that's kind of the smaller side, so I want to make it rotated so that it looks nicer. So I'm going to rotate that by right click on that, transform. There's the guy, and I'm going to transform him 1, 2, 3. I've set up with rotational increment 30 degrees. So I've rotated him there, and maybe I'll rotate him up a bit as well. So I'm going to rotate the blue one, 1, 2, 3. Okay, and I just select XY plane. So there we are. There's our object in the XY plane. Well, with its bottom pointing down the XY plane. So I say okay. Fine. So it is located. I can now close that guy. Have a look at assembly. You see assembly is not green. All of this is grayed out. What in the world is happening? Double click and it's green again, and all is well on the western front. Right, so now I want to add the string to it, so I'm going to see the string, switch on the string to see, and I'm going to center everything, and okay, there's our string. So I want to attach it to my ground body, so with a rotational joint. So I'm going to click rotational joint, revolute joint, and I'm going to go up here to the end and click on the plane. That gives me an LCS right in the center of the plane, and I go down to this guy. Let me go XY plane again. That's the XY plane is now lying in the plane, so I want to attach him to the middle of that face, so I click that. Okay, and he's attached, right? Except that he's attached through the top, up through the top instead of down through the bottom. So I now go and I click that button to reverse the direction of the attachment, and now we're attached as we require. Push 2 just to make sure we're nicely in the XY plane. Okay, now I actually want to make this into a pendulum, so it must at least have some gravitational potential energy so that it will start swinging straight away. So I now go and say show advanced offsets. We haven't finished with our attachment yet, so we're setting it all up, and we go to show advanced offsets, double click on the placement, and we say I want 60 degrees. Okay, fine, apply. Now nothing looks like it's happened because it's rotated around this axis 60 degrees, which is the axis down the log axis. So I must go to 0 there and 1 there, and I see it is now attached with an angle like that. I actually want the angle the other way around. So I'm going to go to -1, and now it's sitting there at an angle. I think that's good. So I apply. Okay. Fine. And just to make sure that everything's okay, I look, and this is the XY plane. So that looks right, and I'm just going to rotate 90 degrees. Okay, so that lies nicely in the XY plane. I'm happy with that, what I've put together. Right, so now I must go to this object and stick something on the end. So I'm finished with that one. Close it and close my task panel, and now I want to show my weight. And where is my weight? There's my weight. I want to put it here. So I want to have a fixed joint, and I want it to attach to that surface, and I want it to attach to the small surface of this guy. So that's going to be this guy here. That's his small surface. And if I now look at the whole thing, boom, I'm attached. Okay, except here's my joint. See the little circle and the LCS. So again, I must ask it to turn it around and attach it at the end of that weight. Okay, check my XY plane. That looks good. Turn it through 90 degrees. That looks good. Go back to the XY plane, and all is okay. Right, so now I have an assembly which has 3 objects in it. Okay, that's how that object was made, that's how that object was made, and that's how that object was made. And of course these point to the parts that we have defined up at the top there. So we have our assembly all put together. So now I'm going to save that. Okay, and then I'm going to save it as bodies, just because I don't want to overwrite my assembly. Just because that's not not a good idea, and I tend to type Control S regularly just to save, so I'll overwrite it if I by accident push Control S now. So I've saved it as Tutorial1 bodies, so now I can save it all the way along to make sure that I don't lose anything, but I'm not overwrite the assemblies file. Okay, fine. So now I need to make my bodies that are going to move. Okay, not all bodies are going to be moving, etc. So let's put them together as composite bodies. Well, I have now a choice. I can either have a system comprising one body, and I'll just make that nice and green. Okay, so I can have a system comprising that body, and that body, and that body. Okay, 3 bodies of which one is moving. Okay, and they are joined by joints. That is a revolute joint, that is a fixed joint. That's how I put it together. Okay, I then have the option later on to convert this into only two bodies, but we're going to do that. We're going to do this one first. So this one I've saved as bodies 3. I have 3 separate bodies in my system, and they are going to be part of the movement of the system, except of course for the ground body that is jointed to ground. Okay, so I now need to make a body, so I'm going to make this into a body, or a link as we refer to it sometimes. So I right click on that, link actions, make link group, simple group. Okay, so I've got one body now, one body for my mechanical simulation. Go to this one, right click, link actions, make link, simple group, 2 bodies. Select that one, right click, link actions, make link, simple group, 3 bodies. Okay, and I'm going to give them names. It has already given them names here, which will never change, but I'm going to give them names. I'm going to give this one the name ground. Okay, already, because it already sees that ground, so it doesn't want to, in fact it sees, yeah, it doesn't want to make another name, so I'm going to call this F2. I'm going to call that grounded body. Okay, so that's now called the grounded body, and this one I'm going to call by pushing F2 or right click, rename. I'm going to call it the string, and this one, and there's already a string name, so I'm going to call this pendulum string. Okay, and this one I'm going to call pendulum weight. Okay, so we have grounded body, pendulum string,